Have you ever had that feeling, that chilling sensation that you're not alone, even when you're in a room by yourself? That prickle on the back of your neck, the sudden drop in temperature, the shadow you glimpse just at the edge of your vision. Most of us dismiss it. We tell ourselves it's just our imagination, a trick of the light, our house settling. But what if it's not? What if these are fleeting glimpses into a world that exists just beyond our own, a world we're not meant to see? Tonight, we re-diving deep into one of the most unsettling and persistent phenomena in paranormal research, the smiling entity. These aren't your friendly Casper the Ghost type apparitions. No, these are something else entirely. Witnesses from all over the world, from different cultures and backgrounds, have reported encounters with beings that appear human-like. But for one terrifying detail, a smile that is too wide, too fixed, and utterly devoid of warmth. The stories often begin in a mundane way. A person is home alone, perhaps late at night, reading a book or watching TV. Then they notice something. A figure standing in the doorway, or reflected in the dark screen of their television. At first, there might be a sense of confusion rather than fear. Is it a family member, an intruder? But as their eyes adjust to the dim light, they see the smile. It stretches from ear to ear, a grotesque, unnatural grin filled with too many teeth, or perhaps no teeth at all. And the eyes. The eyes are often described as black pits, empty and soulless, staring directly at them. One of the most famous accounts comes from a college student in the late 1990s. Let's call him Mark. Mark was living in an old off-campus apartment building known for its strange occurrences. One night, while studying for his finals, he heard a faint scratching sound coming from his closet. He tried to ignore it, blaming it on mice. But the scratching grew louder, more rhythmic. Finally, mustering his courage, he slowly opened the closet door. Inside, huddled in the corner, was a figure. It was gaunt and pale, but the most horrifying feature was its face. A smile, impossibly wide, was plastered across its features, while its eyes, wide and unblinking, stared right through him. He slammed the door shut, barricaded it with a chair, and spent the rest of the night huddled in the corner of his room, listening to the scratching and the faint, muffled giggling that seemed to emanate from behind the door. He moved out the very next day. What makes these encounters so terrifying? It's the subversion of something we associate with happiness and joy. A smile is supposed to be welcoming, a sign of friendliness. But when it's twisted into this predatory, malevolent grin, it becomes a symbol of pure dread. It's a psychological weapon. It tells you that this entity is not only aware of you, but it's deriving some sort of pleasure from your terror. It's a violation of our most basic social cues. Skeptics, of course, have their explanations. Sleep paralysis is a common one. During an episode of sleep paralysis, a person is awake but unable to move, and they often experience vivid and terrifying hallucinations. The brain, in this state, can conjure up all sorts of monstrous figures. The figure in the corner of the room, the weight on your chest, these are classic symptoms. The smiling figure could simply be a manifestation of our primal fears, a product of a mind trapped between waking and sleeping. Another theory points to hypnagogic or hypnopompic hallucinations, those strange sensory experiences that can happen as you re-falling asleep or waking up. Your brain is in a suggestible state, and it can easily misinterpret shadows and sounds as something more sinister. The face in the static of the TV, the figure in the darkened hallway, It could all be our brain playing tricks on us. But these explanations don't always fit. Many of these sightings happen when the witness is wide awake and fully alert. They aren't in bed, they aren't tired. They are going about their day when they are confronted by this inexplicable horror. Take the case of a young couple who were driving down a remote country road late at night. Their headlights suddenly illuminated a figure standing in the middle of the road. It was a woman, dressed in an old-fashioned white dress. As they slowed down, they saw her face. She was smiling, that same unnaturally wide smile. They swerved to avoid her, and when they looked in the rearview mirror, the road was empty. They were both stone-cold sober, wide awake, and they both saw the exact same thing. How do you explain that? Folklorists and paranormal investigators have drawn parallels between the smiling entities and various figures from folklore around the world. In some cultures, there are tales of trickster spirits or malevolent demons that take on a human form to lure or torment their victims. The smile is a mask, a deceptive lure to draw you in before revealing their true, terrifying nature. Think of the Japanese legend of the Kuchisakana, the slit-mouthed woman, a vengeful spirit who appears to victims with her mouth covered, asking if they think she is beautiful. Regardless of the answer, she reveals a mouth slit from ear to ear in a grotesque smile before attacking. While the details are different, the core element of a horrifying, unnatural smile as a harbinger of doom is strikingly similar. Could these be interdimensional beings, momentarily bleeding through from their reality into ours? Are they a type of psychic projection, a thought form created by collective human fear that has taken on a life of its own? Or are they something more ancient, elemental spirits that have always existed in the shadows, just beyond our perception? The theories are as numerous as the sightings themselves. One of the most disturbing aspects of these encounters is their apparent lack of motive. The smiling entity rarely attacks physically. It doesn't seem to want anything. Its sole purpose, it seems, is to be seen, to instill a deep, primal, and lasting fear in the witness. The psychological trauma from such an event can last a lifetime. People who have seen it report years of anxiety, nightmares, and a persistent fear of the dark. They are left with the horrifying knowledge that something truly malevolent exists, and it saw them, and it smiled. Think about it. The universe is vast and full of mysteries we are only just beginning to understand. We've explored more of the surface of the moon than we have of our own oceans. Who are we to say with absolute certainty what is and isn't possible? To dismiss every single one of these accounts as a dream, a hallucination, or a lie seems just as close-minded as believing every ghost story you hear. The truth is, we don't know what these smiling entities are. They remain one of the most chilling and enigmatic puzzles in the world of the paranormal. They exist in the blurry space between reality and nightmare, a terrifying reminder that there are some things in this world that we are not meant to understand. They are a question mark, shaped like a horrifying grin. So, the next time you're alone and you catch a movement out of the corner of your eye, or you feel that sudden, inexplicable chill, pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and hope that whatever is watching you from the shadows, whatever is sharing that space with you, isn't smiling. Thank you so much for joining me on this unsettling journey into the unknown. If you've ever had an encounter like this, or know someone who has, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. And if you enjoy exploring the darker side of our world, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you do unmiss our next deep dive. Stay safe and try to sleep well.